Every month, I earn both KW Profit Share and EXP Realty's Revenue Share. I'm grandfathered into an old clause, which is why this is the most unbiased comparison of the two opportunities, given that I can earn money whether you choose to join KW or EXP. So if you joined KW before May of 2020, schedule a call with me and I can explain how the grandfather clause works. If you're at any other brokerage or you joined KW after May of 2020, unfortunately, that ship has sailed and you must choose either profit share or revenue share. Let's dive into the benefits of each and the major differences you'll find. Number one is the terminology. One is revenue, the other is profit. EXP Realty is sharing half of their revenue with the agents, and KW is sharing half of their profit with the agents. Revenue is always more than profit, and it's a lot more in this case. So keep in mind that with Keller Williams, they're taking the commission that's coming from these agents, they're paying all of their salaried employees, the manager, assistant manager, secretary, the office rent, and so on and so forth. What's left is profit. Half the profit goes to the owners of the franchise and half are shared with the agents to help grow the brokerage. At EXP, half of the revenue is shared with the agents that help to grow the brokerage. That revenue comes right off the top. It's actually commission. You are literally receiving a percentage of the commission at EXP versus a percentage of the company profit at Keller Williams. Now that's actually a big deal because you will need to maintain a real estate license at EXP Realty, whereas at Keller Williams, you don't theoretically even need a license to receive profit share. And that also goes into the willability aspect. Both companies allow you to will this asset to your beneficiaries. At Keller Williams, it is just willable, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Your beneficiary does not need a license. At EXP, your beneficiary will need a license, and they have up to 1 year to obtain that license. So how much more money is there in revenue share versus profit share? Well, that's kind of a hard question to answer because profit share depends on the profitability of each individual office. Now, I recruited over 125 agents to Keller Williams, so I have a pretty good understanding of profitability because it wasn't just a one office. Most offices are profitable, so that's a plus, because if you recruited an agent to an unprofitable office and they sold property, you would actually make zero profit share from them. And so depending on the profitability of that office, which changes by month, you will actually see a different amount of profit share when an agent sells property. Whereas at EXP, it's real easy to predict how much money you're going to get because it's based off the actual commission that comes in the door. In reality, it seems to me to be about 5 to 10 times more money that revenue share has. Now, there is a slight way to tweak that if you are a husband-wife team. If you're a husband-wife team and you're at KW, you could actually increase your profit share by almost double. So if you're a husband-wife team, let's chat and I can explain how that works, but it will help mediate that major difference. So that could be one slight factor in favor of KW's profit share if you're a husband-wife. Whereas if you're a husband-wife at EXP, you're actually treated as one person, which has the advantage of having one split and a lower monthly fee instead of having to pay two major fees. But that's completely unrelated to the profit share versus revenue share comparison. A next major difference is how each level pays out. Both companies offer a 7-level system, meaning you bring someone to the company, who brings someone to the company, who brings someone to the company 7 levels deep, you can get paid off of all of them. In fact, you do get paid off of all of them at both companies no matter what. At EXP, you can unlock more payment at each level by personally attracting a certain number of agents. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 40 are the number of agents required to unlock fully each level. If you don't have that number of agents, you get a smaller payout from each level. Whereas at KW, you could attract one agent who then attracts 100, and it doesn't even matter how many people you have in your first line. You will get paid out the same amount on every line, no matter what. So if you're a small recruiter or you're not really planning on recruiting at all, and you're just bringing over 1 or 2 friends over your entire career, you might just think KW's profit share system could get you lucky. In fact, there is an agent I am aware of that recruited 2 agents to KW and now has over 1,000 agents in his tree because he got extremely lucky. One of those 2 agents went on to attract a ton of agents. Whereas at EXP, you need to build out your first line in order to take full advantage of the entire tree. The amounts that each level pays out also varies drastically between the two companies. At Keller Williams, the agents that you personally attract to the company are going to pay you the most amount of money by a lot. It's 5 times more than the people that they bring to the company. At EXP, the people that you personally attract are actually your 3rd highest payout. The people that are in your 2nd line are your 2nd highest payout, and the people in your 7th line are the highest payout. And so how does that impact things? Well, first off, it actually gives me the advantage of being able to put people under you at EXP that would actually pay me more, and it would make you happier. So that's pretty cool. So the advantage of KW is it's much easier for you to earn more than the people above you, because the people that you personally attract have the biggest impact. Another interesting difference that I've noticed come out is that although both companies take the stance that once you recruit or sponsor an agent, your job is done, at EXP, we're seeing these sponsors go above and beyond, providing additional training, support, coaching, and things like that, because they're getting paid so much more money. Whereas at KW, there's just not enough money to incentivize them to do anything other than bring them to the company. So on that note, if you want to learn what my personal modern team at EXP is providing our agents, check out the link in the description down below. You can see all the additional training, coaching, and support that my modern team is providing to all agents that join us. While your eyes are drifting down, look to the right a little bit and click like and subscribe, because what's not to like about this video? Another interesting difference between the two models is something I refer to as compression. So let's take, for example, you attract an agent at KW who then attracts another agent at KW. If the agent you initially brought to the company leaves the company, this agent that they brought in will actually move up in your tree and become your next in line. How is that advantageous? Well, it opens up an additional spot at the bottom. So you actually have an additional opening to fill in your line a little bit deeper. At EXP, compression does not occur. If you attract someone to the company who then attracts someone else and this person leaves, well, then this actually creates a ghost spot that does not get filled. And this is how EXP as a company actually makes money. Because when you think about it, when you look at the numbers, they're giving up their entire 20% in revenue share. So where are they getting money from? It's from the agents that actually end up leaving and leaving ghost spots. And so that percentage that would normally go to that agent is now going back to the company. This was actually a big deal at the beginning because a lot of people hated on the EXP model because they thought that EXP as a company would fail because they're not making any money. They're giving it all away to the agents. And as we've seen, clearly they didn't fail. They're the fastest growing brokerage in the world. Another thing that EXP has that KW doesn't have is the stock bonus that comes along on the agent attraction side. So at EXP, whenever you attract an agent to the company, you get a $400 stock bonus on their first sale. That just doesn't exist at KW. So it's just an additional perk. If you're bringing in a lot of agents, you're going to start getting a lot of stock as well on top of the revenue share. Let's touch a little bit on how the actual agent attraction process works at each company. So at Keller Williams, it's a little more hands-off. And what I mean by that is your job is simply to excite an agent about KW. Once they're excited, you then hand them off to someone whose salary job is to close them and get them to join the brokerage. And they're probably going to be a little bit better at it than you are. So that's one advantage of KW is you have someone else who's going to follow up with your prospects and hopefully close them on the opportunity of joining. At EXP, although there are multiple ways to attract agents that are taught, the most common method is to introduce, show them the video, and set up a 3-way call. And what I mean by that is you find out if they're open-minded about learning more, and then you show them the video. So you can check out the video right here that I'm talking about. And after they watch that video, you set up a 3-way call or a 3-way Zoom with someone who's on their level. And what I mean by that is, let's say I'm talking to a broker owner that has, 25, 30 agents at their brokerage, and I'm trying to show them the benefits of merging their entire brokerage and why in the world they would want to do that. It would make a lot more sense if I could connect them with someone who was in their shoes, who is now making, $10 million a year because they moved their brokerage and now they're retired. So I have someone like that as one of my partners that I can connect them with. I can also do a 3-way call with Brent, who actually made this video. So sometimes they want to talk to the person that made that awesome video. Great, he's happy to chat. Or maybe you're talking to someone who's a team leader that has a small to medium-sized team. I might be a great person to 3-way chat with them because I had a small to medium-sized team before I moved over. And so you're finding someone that's essentially was in their shoes, that you can edify to show what the potential is if they move. They can kind of look into the future by looking at someone else's past. Now, when it comes to the training between the two, it's a huge advantage to EXP. And why that is because KW runs a franchise model. So when I was the #1 recruiter in my franchise, then there's no one that I'm going to learn from to improve because all the training is done essentially in-house. At EXP, it's one company across 19 countries. The chance that I'm the #1 recruiter in the entire world is pretty slim. There's a lot of higher level agent attractors out there at EXP, and they are teaching classes. We have 3 classes every single week on agent attraction. You wanna know how many classes I attended on agent attraction at KW during my 5 years there? 0. I had 0 class offerings. Now that's where I come in personally. I will teach you how to attract to either company. I am personally attracting 5 agents every single month. Now this difference is kind of minor, but I thought it was really cool. When I was at Keller Williams, or still, I have no idea how much my profit share is going to be until the day I receive it. It's like a surprise, this is how much money you get this month. At EXP, I get to see it adding up. As agents in my tree sell something, it gets added. So I can see it in pretty close to real time. So I know how much money I'm going to make when the paycheck comes. If you plan on focusing on agent attraction, I definitely have to give the edge to EXP just because there's way more money to be made. I mean, it's like 10 times more. But you do have to actively bring agents to your first level. As long as you get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 40 agents, you're unlocking further levels that give you tons more money. So if you're not actively planning on attracting agents and you're only going to plan on attracting less than 5, maybe look at KW. Now to put that in perspective, I am currently attracting 5 agents every single month. And I'm happy to show you how to do that. I do run private training groups for the people that are in my organizations, both at KW and EXP. I will happily show you my tips and tricks for attracting agents. At KW, if you know a lot of agents and you're attracting a ton of agents, why are you attracting them to KW? You can make a lot more money at EXP. There's certain predispositions that is going to make you a better agent attractor. And if you're a big agent attractor, obviously EXP is going to make more sense. So those predispositions include being really big on social media. If you already have a big social media following, believe it or not, you're going to attract agents without even trying. If you are already a recruiter in some other field, you're going to have a better understanding of how recruiting works and you're going to attract more agents. If you already have agents under you, like for example, maybe you have a team or you own a brokerage, obviously you have experience with hiring agents and attracting them, so you're going to have an easier time. If you are a top producer, you probably know a lot of agents, and a lot of agents already look up to you, and so when you switch, they're going to ask you why. It's just going to happen. And if you know a lot of agents, if you're just big in the field and you know a lot of agents, you're going to have a big pool of people that you can talk to and you're going to have an easier time. So if you're thinking about joining KW or EXP and taking advantage of these awesome gifts that both companies provide, let's chat. I can go over your personal situation and help you determine which one might be a better fit.